T-minus 1 minute. BC, verify F9 is in startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Flight software has control of the vehicle. Stage 1, Stage 2 pressing for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds.
Falcon 9 is configured at flight pressures.
T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff of Falcon 9. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower.
Michael Hammersley, materials engineer, and I'm going to talk you through some of what you're seeing and hearing as the vehicle continues to ascend. You can tell that we've had a successful liftoff initially. The Falcon 9 has cleared the towers, and it is rapidly approaching what's called maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is known as max Q. It's when the rocket is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
Speed 550 meters per second, downrange distance 2.3 kilometers.
You can see the engine plume.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
The engine plume widening as the rocket is increasing in altitude and there's less pressure.
Telemetry power still look healthy. MVAC is beyond chill.
MVAC chill means that the second stage engine is preparing itself to ignite. Shortly after main engine cutoff, we're going to separate the stages and begin the second stage ignition.
T plus 2 minutes, speed 1.2 kilometers per second, downrange distance 11 kilometers.
Main engine cutoff approaching shortly. Returning to land as the second stage powers the OrbComm satellites to low Earth orbit.
Stage 1 is on its foot.
The fairings have successfully deployed. You can hear everyone is phenomenally excited here. The Merlin vacuum engine is burning bright as it's moving up to speeds approaching 8 kilometers per second. The first stage will soon begin its series of 3 burns to head back towards Cape Canaveral. First, it will reorient itself. It will reorient itself using cold gas thrusters. It will perform 3 more burns as it approaches landing zone 1.
Stage 1 boostback is starting.
The boostback is the primary burn that will get the vehicle moving more
Stage
slowly
propulsion is nominal.
and heading back to Cape Canaveral.
New Hampshire acquisition of signal.
Man, that is awesome. We are well on our way to taking OrbComm to orbit, and that boostback burn, that's the first step of a really intense process to get that stage 1 back on land, man.
Yeah, like so many things just happened. My heart beat twice. Two beats since we were on last, first of all. Secondly, there were so many important things. There was first the takeoff, the immediate takeoff, which is just a huge relief. Then there's max Q, and you have the maximum pressure. Past that, huge relief. Then the stage separation, and everyone here went nuts. People here were going crazy. And then the boostback. So everything is so far looking great, right?
So far, so good. Yeah, that boostback burn is going to go on for about 30 seconds, and then it's going to cut off. We're going to flip the stage back around, and as we enter that atmosphere, those grid fins are going to pop out and start the guidance in through the atmosphere.
And so we're about 4 minutes away from when it would touch down, right?
Exactly, okay. Yes, about 4 minutes away.
Everyone's really excited.
There's a lot of
here.
energy.
It's awesome. So much energy. So much energy. Yeah, that boostback burn is really important because it reorients us back down to the launch site, back down to landing zone 1, as opposed to normally after the first stage separates from a rocket, after the second stage separates from a rocket, that first stage will continue on a sort of ballistic trajectory and crash into the ocean, but we are coming back to land.
One of the things I think that is another thing that just not that intuitive is what an orbit is. And so right now, the second stage is
going far to orbit.
Right, yeah. It is going faster and faster and higher to try to ping these satellites off into orbit. And what that means is you're not floating in orbit. The gravity is almost the same as it is on Earth. So what's happening is it's almost like the second stage is like a giant throwing the satellites as hard as it can, so that they're going 17,000 miles an hour. So you can basically curve around the Earth. They're falling, but they're going so fast that they're actually curving at the same curvature of the Earth.
Well, yeah, and I know the same thing. A lot of people that I think of space as just going up really high and back down, which is a lot of like space tourism kind of things. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to deliver satellites and stuff like that.
They're super fast,
really fast
sideways.
Which is why it's really hard to bring this stage back, because the faster you go, the harder it gets to actually come back as well.
Yes. So, and also, being able to get all of these satellites into that orbit, that's really hard, but then having 11 and getting them to maintain their orbit is also really difficult.
But let's check in actually with John Innsbrucker for another update on how both the second stage burn is going and also how that first stage is looking too.
We're at T plus 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Everything continues to go nominal, as we like to say here at SpaceX. Falcon 9 continues to power its way into orbit. The second stage is building up to 4.7 Gs of acceleration. Now currently we're about 2 minutes away from shutdown of the second stage engine to get into orbit. Engine performance continues to be nominal. I'm looking at the trajectory. We're going right down the middle of the track. That's good news. We're right where we want to be. For the first stage, you heard about the first boostback burn. Coming up in another minute or so, or coming up very shortly, is the entry burn, and then hopefully the landing burn. And you hear the cheering in the background.
First stage is on its way. Everyone's super excited out here. That burn's going to last about another 30 seconds or so, slowing ourselves down as we get closer and closer to the landing pad.
Yes, now this stuff is super, super hard. Not only do we have a series of maneuvers that we need to achieve in order to get that rocket back down to the ground, but it's actually a super complicated thing. Like, you did some cool analogy and some cool math to figure this out, right?
I tried to figure out how hard this really is, and so I crunched the numbers with the size of the rocket and the size and how high it's going. What's happening with the first stage is it's like launching a pencil, over the Empire State Building, having it reverse, come back down, and land on a shoebox on the ground in a windstorm. That's what's happening.
The critical part.
Yeah, and I don't think I could throw a pencil over the Empire State Building and catch them on a
try to do.
shoebox.
And the crazy thing is, we're like 30 seconds away from this getting
From this
down.
crazy maneuver. Yeah.
This extremely energetic room is a hush.
Oh my gosh.
Just getting the last burn is going in. Landing legs should be deploying in about 10 seconds or so. That is a view from the landing pad.
That is that first stage
Coming
coming
back.
back down to land at Cape Canaveral. History in the making, guys.
Stage 1 is landed. LZ-1, the Falcon is landed. Landing operators moving to procedure 11.100, section 3 on LZ-1 BNet and recovery net. Repeat, the Falcon has landed.
By 611 kilometers, inclined 37 degrees.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I cannot believe it.
Okay, they're coming back to us.
Successfully landed the first stage of our rocket onto landing zone 1. It's standing up there straight and proud and beautiful. As you can tell, everybody here is going absolutely insane. And rightfully so.
Huge first time this has been happening. Noon here is just extremely exciting. Tim's so happy you can come out and join this.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. This is the most exciting thing I've ever witnessed.
Yeah,
I've never seen a group of people more excited, like freaked out excited, like the looks in those people's eyes there. And I gave someone a jumping hug.
Lots of love around here
It's
today.
hard to understand what a big moment this is. Every single space agency in the world is watching this. This is, I mean, there's so many quotes of people in space agencies saying, this will never be done. Like 5 or 6 years ago, people saying, it's not possible to land the first stage. And they did it. You guys did it.
It's a huge
Nice going.
And we just got confirmation we have a successful, good orbit for second stage. We're making preparations to deploy the OrbComm satellite. So we are on a nominal trajectory for the second stage as well.
I can't hear him.
Point to my phone.
This is such incredibly an exciting thing. It's important to remember that our primary mission is, in fact, to get those 11 OrbComm satellites into orbit. There are going to be a series of 6 separation events, and in a moment, you will see the first 2 of the 11 OrbComm Generation 2 satellites separating from the second stage of the Falcon 9 rocket. We have cameras for at least some of those deployments, and those will be coming along shortly as the mission continues to progress nominally. A couple quick facts about the OrbComm satellites. There are 11 of them. There's also a 12th mass simulator, and that's there to just provide balance. Each satellite weighs about 172 kilograms, and it's for a total mass of just over 2,000 kilograms. For reference, that's about the size of a fully grown adult lion. Each satellite, when stowed, is about 1 meter by 1 meter by half a meter tall. So about yay, and straight down. It's about the size of one of the small refrigerators. But that doesn't mean it's nowhere near that simple. Fully deployed, the satellite actually extends out its arms 13 meters, about the size of a telephone pole. Now, the 11 satellites are mated in 3 tiers. There are 4 farthest away, then 3, and then another 4 fairly close to the Merlin vacuum engine. And now the way that we're going to begin deploying them is with the 4 satellites on top, then the 4 satellites in the bottom, and then the 3 satellites in the middle.
First spacecraft.
And
payload spacecraft
we have visual confirmation of satellite deployment. Mission is continuing to progress nominally. We have 5 more satellite separation events. Now, the reason that we're staggering these deployments is in order to allow the satellites to have some spacing, to give them their proper location within the constellation that's going to provide that continuous global coverage that Lauren was speaking about earlier. They have a parking orbit of about between 620 and 660 kilometers in altitude. And we're waiting for confirmation of the next few sets of deployments.
Spacecraft 3 and 4 have been deployed.
You just saw the next 2 satellites deploy. Mission is continuing nominally. You'll notice that you can only see 1 satellite come off the actual payload fairing, or fairing adapter, forgive me. That's in order to keep the satellite and second stage moving in a straight path.
Satellite deployment. As you can hear, everyone here is just extremely, extremely excited that we both have a first stage that is sitting on ground, and also we are taking care of the nominal primary mission here. It's all about delivering those satellites to orbit as well. The secondary, the sugar on top, whatever.
The very
cherry on top was the first stage.
Well, because the worst thing that could happen is after this incredible moment, if something goes wrong here, it really would kill the buzz. So, we really, want to get this right now just to orient me and everyone up. So, 3 have been deployed, correct? Correct.
Yes.
Out of 5,
3 deployment sequences, 2 satellites per deployment. So 6 have been deployed, which is just over half of them.
And now there's 2 more deployments.
3 more deployments.
3 more deployments?
Yes.
Okay. So for 11 total.
Correct.
And you're only seeing about 1 go off at a time because that's given our camera angle. The other has half of that payload cabin fitting. You can see there's another satellite as well.
Great.
Another successful deployment. We have confirmation that that is good. And just remember, that is a live view from space. That is the blackness of space. We are 620 kilometers in space right now.
Nothing is cool. I mean, it looks like it's just sitting there calmly, and these things are coming out, and everything's going slowly, when the fact is, these things are going 17,000 miles an hour. And I kind of figured out once that if you're on the beach and something was going this fast out into the ocean, it would go over the horizon and out of sight in a half a second. That's how fast these are going.
It's insane. And there's the 4th deployment. It's another successful deployment.
There's 1 more.
We're waiting for just the final deployment of the constellation here. Should be about another 20 seconds or so. We'll be seeing that last satellite be separated.
This will be the 11th satellite, and that will complete this mission. After we deploy this final satellite, we will then deorbit the second stage. And we have successful deployment of the 11th and final satellite on the OrbComm mission.
Is there another satellite? That's it.
All right. And with the successful deployment of all 11 of these satellites, it is time for us to sign off today. This has been a wildly successful return to flight for SpaceX, a wonderful first flight of our Falcon 9 upgrade, and of course, the thing that got everybody really going crazy here, we made history today by landing the first stage of our rocket back on land in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Yep, thanks OrbComm for today's mission, and special thanks to the Air Force 45th Space Wing for all their range support, as well as the FAA for licensing our mission. Make sure you stay connected with us on SpaceX, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also, if you want to join us up here,
SpaceX.com/careers.